Good morning and welcome to Ellon Academy's virtual assembly on Monday the 26th of April 2021. So the senior pupils, the first segment of the assembly is in relation to your assessment block. And if you are working towards qualifications in National 5, Higher and Advanced Higher, you will be taking part in the assessment block over the next 5 weeks. We are really rooting for you and we really hope that you will benefit from all of the ongoing learning and teaching in your classes, the learning discussions that you'll be having with your teachers. What you'll be actually doing in your classes will complement and support you in your assessments as you progress through the next 5 weeks. So we're wishing you all the very best of luck. It's not really about luck, it's about your effort and your hard work, and we believe that you will be rewarded by that hard work at the end of the day when we are able to provide you with your grades. So you're strong, we're cheering you on, and you really need to just take this as much in your stride as you can. Look at it as an opportunity to showcase some of your work, because there's lots of your work that's already there that may be at the standard that can be used for evidence for your different qualifications, and as the work that you do with the assessment block as well for some subjects can be relevant to be used as evidence. So believe in yourselves, believe in your ability. I said to the seniors, and I'll say it to you all again, don't be defined by this pandemic. You've really built that resilience in yourselves because and despite of what's happened over the past 13 months. So we're really, really there to support you all as you go through the next few weeks. So S1, 2 and 3, you can really help your peers go through the next few weeks if you do a few key things that will really, really help. Our seniors have been preparing for this for some time and they need your support to help them through the next 5 weeks. So we need you to think about them as they progress through their assessment block, which is essential for them to showcase evidence of their work for their qualifications. It lasts for 5 weeks, starting today on the 26th of April, and it will finish on Friday the 28th of May. So it feels like a long way ahead. Your peers in 4th, 5th and 6th year will be doing their assessments in classes and not in the normal big exam rooms and halls and gym halls that we've had to use in the past. And we can't do that this year because of COVID and because of the need for no more than 50 young people or people in any one given place at a time. So we need you to play your part. We need you to be calm and quiet in the corridors between classes. Follow the one-way system. That will help support your peers while they're doing their assessments in class. And just remember that it will be your turn soon enough, especially you pupils in 3rd year. You'll be doing this sort of thing next year. So S1s and 2s, you'll be amazed how quickly this time in your lives comes around. So be respectful of your peers and what they are going through in the next few weeks. So here are some reminders for everyone. S1, 2 and 3, you're using the pupil doors for coming in and out of school, and S4, 5 and 6, you're using the foyer reception doors. You must keep sanitising and good hand hygiene continues to be really, really important. And it's also very good practice, and we are encouraged to change disposable face coverings regularly throughout the day, maybe twice or 3 times throughout the day, and also to wash reusable ones regularly too, just to keep that level of good hygiene. Just a reminder that although there's no social distancing between young people, there is still that social distancing rule between young people and adults. So stay 2 metres away from adults and they will, in all of their best ability, stay 2 metres away from you. At the moment, we're still continuing with outside breaks and lunchtimes, and if the weather is bad, we'll obviously have you inside and you'll go to your designated areas, and those are the same areas that you would go to prior to registration in the morning. going outside is really helpful because that's another way of stopping the spread of the virus, because it's less likely to spread amongst anyone when you are outside, and if there is a breeze or a slight wind, it can blow the COVID particles away. And it's also a good time to have a break from wearing your face covering if you are not exempt from that. Again, there's no social distancing required on school transport or in the school at the moment. And when you're out in the community, that might be before and after school, or if you go up to Ellon in the lunch times, you have to abide by the COVID regulations in those communities or in those shops that you might be going to, and that might be different from school. So health and well-being is really our number one priority here, and we always recognise that it is okay not to be okay. It's not something nowadays that we feel we need to hide. We are much more open about asking for help when we're not feeling 100%, we're not feeling ourselves, and sometimes the situation that we find ourselves in, or just life in general, is getting us down. And mark my words, most people have experienced this at some point in their lives, regardless of the situation that they're in or we're in now. But one of the things to do is to help you when you're back in school. That could be, for most young people, a good emotional boost for you, rather than being cooped up at home, sitting in front of a screen and not seeing your friends and family. So getting used to the school routine can be quite challenging for you if you've been away from school for 4 months, and that's something that we as staff need to be aware of too, and accept that you will be tired because your routine has changed and you're back into a more formalised environment for learning, and you've got your classes and your timetable to follow. So we would always advise young people and people of all ages to get plenty of sleep. When you sleep, your brain processes all the things that it's learned during the day, and sleep is essential to help your brain perform that function, and also to help your brain and to help your body recover from the day, eating well and eating healthily, avoiding lots of sugary snacks and drinks, and drinking lots of water or non-sugary drinks can really help boost your system and keep you feeling better. Getting outside is really important, and that's really one of the many reasons why it's good for you to get outside at break and lunchtime. Just now, get some fresh air and get a little bit of sun if you can. And exercising is a really great stress buster if you like exercising, or just simple walking if that's what you enjoy. One of the things that affects our health and well-being is toxic relationships, and relationships where you find yourself maybe being unhappy or drawn into things that you're not comfortable with, or finding that maybe conversations, face-to-face conversations, or those conversations that take place online through different social media platforms are maybe not the kinds of conversations you would have if you were face to face with someone. So these relationships are quite toxic and not good for your health and your well-being. And although it can be hard to break some of these relationships, sometimes a line has to be drawn if your well-being is affected. We can help you with that. We don't want young people to try and solve their differences by resorting to physical violence or to name calling and these kind of things. We can help support you either move away from these relationships or repair them without resorting to anything that might be perceived as bullying type behaviour. Keep yourself safe online. You never know who you're actually talking to, and you'll be getting lots of this information maybe through primary school, but certainly through PSE in secondary school as well. And ask for support to help you deal with some of these tensions and conflicts, because solving them yourselves doesn't always end up in a positive outcome. And if you're not okay, and if you're feeling that you're not coping, you must ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help, because all of us have experienced maybe a crisis in confidence, or feeling a bit down, or really feeling that we can't face the world on certain days. So really seriously ask for help if you feel that way. So, as I was saying earlier, I'm determined that we, or you young people who are living this situation right now, will not be defined by COVID-19. Yes, you are the generation that it has affected, and my personal opinion is that it's affected young people more than any other age group, um, because I almost feel that you have been robbed of some of the things that would normally happen during your teenage years, and being able to interact with friends and actually cope with conflicts and bounce back from them is part of the development of growing into an adult. Sometimes we have adversity in our lives and we're in challenging situations, and how we cope with those situations really comes down to our beliefs and our core values and what is most important to us and what we want to be defined as a person, what our character is. And there are consequences to any action. And whatever you do or feel as a result of a situation is the consequence of that. And it's really important that we are resilient. It's maybe a word that you don't know what it actually means, and it means if you are resilient, you have an ability to recover or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Now, how resilient have you had to be during the past 13 months? We're coping with changes to our lives and restrictions on our lives almost on a weekly basis, and things change so rapidly that you sometimes haven't got time to turn around. So adults, I've always said to my friends and family that we can kind of content ourselves by having to stay in and not being able to see people as often as we like. We kind of just assume that that's the way it is. But for young people, that's much harder, because these are the years where you develop your personalities, you develop your resilience, your ability to cope with things because of some of the normal setbacks and angst that young people go through to help them develop their personalities. So you are the generation that have already got some of this resilience because you've lived it, and we are very proud of you because of that. So thank you for listening again, and we will catch up with you again next week at next week's assembly. Thank you.